Gal and Mayan here. Welcome to the Coffee Talking Show, the podcast for women living abroad. Today we have a special guest with us, Shiri. Together we will discuss moving abroad with kids and what we can do as parents to help them prepare for the move. But first, let us introduce you to our guest. Shiri Brushtan has a unique perspective on parenthood and relocation. As a former special needs education teacher and behavior analyst in Israel, she worked with students with learning disabilities, attention difficulties, and behavioral challenges for over 16 years. But 9 years ago, Shiri and her husband decided to follow their dreams and move to Barcelona with their 3 daughters. After the move, Shiri realized that she had a passion for helping families navigate the challenges of relocation, particularly when it came to parenting. With her expertise, knowledge, and personal experience, Shiri started an online clinic offering parent guidance for families going through relocation processes. From preparation and adjustment to the educational frameworks to acclimating to new countries, Shiri provides supports for families dealing with the emotional complexities of a move, behavioral challenges at home and in school. So we invite you to grab your coffee and notebook and give a big loving welcome to Shiri. Hello, Shiri. Thank you so much for being here with us. So we'll dive just in the conversation and just start with, tell us a little bit about yourself and your move abroad and your experience of this transition of a relocation.
Hi, hello from Barcelona. My name is Shiri. Nice to meet you. Nice to be here. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to represent myself and my own relocation story, which started 9 years ago. It was a dream for me and for my husband as well. And since we traveled in Spain like 20 years ago, one day we sat down and we said, okay, one day we're going to come back when we have kids. And then 9 years ago, we've been having like a conversation at our house with some friends about education, that we want to give our kids an international opportunity to have like another type of education different from what we're having in Israel. Maybe I didn't mention it, but we moved from Israel to Barcelona. And since the girls were just at the right age for us to do the move, we have decided in 4 months. We took the decision in April. I turned 40 and we went to Barcelona together, only my husband and me, to celebrate my birthday. And then we looked at each other and we said, okay, we're going to do it. And we came back and my husband said, okay, I need 1 year to make all the arrangement. And I said, no, I'm sorry, you don't have 1 year. In September, I'm going to be there. And he said, no, he was having his own business and I was working in the educational system in Israel. And it was quite a short time to make all the arrangements by yourself, not moving for a relocation like typical for moving from with a company. We had to do everything by ourselves. But I thought, if I have too much time, I'm not sure what's gonna happen. And since I want it and I want it now, I think we can do it, and let's help each other to do it together on the best way that we can do it. And that's it. We came to the girls. We have twins girls. They're seniors. They're just about to leave the house. And they were 9 years when we moved. And the little one, she was 2 years old, which was much more easier because she didn't have like a lot of roots in Israel. So, but with the twins, we sat together and we said, okay, we think that for our family, it's a good decision to move to Barcelona. And since our house really like football, so the first thing we said is we're gonna watch Messi playing in the Camp Nou. And of course, the girls were very excited since they used to go with my husband to watch the Maccabi Tel Aviv football. And I have to say that for our first date, my dear husband, took me to watch football, the derby between Maccabi Tel Aviv and Apol Tel Aviv. So once you start there, you're gonna know where it's gonna end. So we ended up moving to Barcelona and having the this what we call here socio, like the season tickets for Camp Nou. And here we are, 9 years ago, still here.
Well, I love that. I love this story, and we can hear how passionate you are, about this move, and how it really was your dream. And I can totally relate with wanting to give a better education to your kids. That's exactly the same reason why I moved here with my husband. And we want for our kids the best. And when we open our mind and see that there are so many different ways to educate our kids and to show them international cultures, and this is an amazing opportunity for the kids, in my opinion. And I love it that you share the same opinion, and I think it's an amazing gift we can give to our kids.
Yes, and I think for us, we've done it as kids. So the first time we moved, we were kids, and we always say it out loud that this is probably the best gift our parents gave to us, with all the challenges that it brought and with all the difficulties that it created over the years. But on the other hand, like when we look retrospective like to our life, this is definitely something that have given us so many amazing things. And I can totally relate from the side of like being a kid and remembering what it is when our parents told us. I don't remember the first time because I was 2 years old, but the second time around, I really remember it. Oh, it was probably the third already. That we're going back to France, and I really remember it as a kid
Hmm.
too. And I think that will lead me directly to our second question to you, that is really related to what you do right now in your business. And we're going to go deeper into this in a minute. But what are some common emotional challenges that children face when moving to a new country?
I just want to say we're talking about young kids because talking about teenagers, I think it's a different conversation. And when I say young kids, I refer between 3 to 10, maybe 11, not more than 12 years old, because this is a different story between having like doing a relocation or moving with young kids and teenagers. So my answer will go through these ages if it's okay with you. I think when you took the decision and you're coming to your kids and you're sitting together and you say we took a decision which is good for our family and we're thinking about moving to, the first thing the kids will probably think, or the concern will be, I've never heard about it. Where is this? So meaning that when you don't have information, you start thinking about things and it makes you worried. Where is it? Who's gonna go there? I'm gonna be there by myself. Will I have friends? What am I gonna do with my friends that I'm living here? They're staying. What if like I have very good relationships with my grandmother, grandfather, and what's gonna happen to them? Sometimes they're a bit old and you're worried because also sometimes you hear your mom or your father taking care about them. So all kind of fears are coming to you. Fears about leaving the place that your life is right now, and the concerns about moving to another place which you've never been there, maybe you haven't heard about this place, you don't know how the kids looks like, the street looks like, what's going to be with, kids are very, when they are very young, they can think about very their own personal stuff. What are you going to do with my bed? Bed is a very safety place for the kids. Are you going to take it or not? So if we're not taking my stuff, what are we going to do? What am I going to have there? How it's going to look like? And I have to say a few things. First, not all the kids have fears, concerns. Um, it also depends on how you talk with your kids. And maybe I'm doing a step forward to your next question since I know your questions, but I think this is something that you really need to get ready before you're coming to your kids and sharing about the move. First, both parents need to be on the same page. It's not that you got a job and I'm quitting my own life and coming with you. We took a decision together because we think it's good to our family. And I think that when you start thinking like this is what you're going to say to your kids. And when you say something like this, you give your kids the comfort zone, feeling okay, here comes my mom, my dad, and our family, and we're doing something together as a family, which is good for us, and they're going to be there for me no matter what.
That's so true. And you mentioned so many important things, and I want to go back a little bit to them because communicating and being, together, we're in this together. It's the whole family. It's not your dad got a job and we all got to follow and we all got to leave. It's not about that. It's about communicating as a whole family. And I think this is so important, especially for women. A lot of time we see them following their spouse, their partner, and having to really leave behind a lot of things for someone else. And it's hard. But again, it's always our decision. We have always something to do with this decision. We're a part of it. And it's about communicating it to our kids to give them this. You mentioned comfort zone. It's about the safety. It's about my parents are here for me. They made a decision for me. It's not against me.
Yeah.
And that's really important thing that you mentioned.
I will add to this something about you talk about communication, but when you think about it, like everything in life, it's how you present it to your kids. If you're going to present it as an adventure, as something exciting, as an opportunity, as something they will look forward to, they will be excited to go with you. If you're going to come with your fears, with your doubts, with if you're not sure about this move, if you're coming, we're thinking maybe, I don't know, then you don't give them the reassurance that you just talked about. So it's really about how we are selling this idea of moving to another country to the kids. And I remember talking about it. I don't remember which episode it was, but I said it's just the same way as if you want your kid to watch a new movie they've never watched before. Kids love what they know. You talked about like what they have, what they know. If you want them to try something they've never tried before, you need to be creative in how you are telling them it. If you're going to tell them, this movie, not so good, but maybe you like it, they will not want to watch it. But if you sell it to them in a funny way, in an exciting way, in a
like you mentioned, football, like we're going to get them see and go to the Camp Nou, and yeah, that's exciting. Kids love that, right?
So it's really about that, and it starts with where you are as a parent.
Exactly. And it comes together. It's both marketing and also sharing your own personal emotions, which should be the same. Meaning, I cannot tell my kids if this is good for us and then having a phone call with a friend and saying, well, he got the job, we're going to go there. I didn't choose Barcelona. It's not the best, but okay. I said we're going to move to this. No.
You're absolutely right. And I want to go back to something you mentioned, that small kids may have different concerns than us adults. Like we think, oh, how am I going to get the visa? I need a new job. I need an apartment. I need to learn the language. And the kids will be, oh my God, what will happen to my bed? Like you mentioned. And I want to share with you a personal story. When we moved from Israel to France, the first concern of my daughter, she was 8 years old, even less. And her first concern was, what will happen to all my pandas? She has like, I don't know, 20 panda dolls. What will happen to them? How many pandas can I take with me? Do I have to ship them? Can I take them in my suitcase? This was her concern. And it is a real concern. And sometimes we say, oh, it doesn't matter. We'll put them in boxes. But it does matter to her. And I think we don't always think the way our kids think. And I think it's very important to let them to, first of all, tell us what are their concerns, what are they scared about, and to validate it. That's okay. That's okay. This is your challenge and that's okay. I have my own, you have yours. Let's talk about it. And I think it's a very important thing that you mentioned.
I think that first, when kids comes to us and they share something with us, no matter not only about relocation in life, like first sentence we need to say thank you for sharing. It's very important for me because sometimes kids are afraid to share concerns. Maybe you're gonna be worried, maybe you're gonna be upset. And I think when it comes to what we are talking about today, even if you think it's not very important, but it's important to your child, so you have to be there. So first you need to listen and not go to the solution. And then first you need to be with her and say, wow, I've never thought about it. You're right. It's so important. Your pandas. Let's think what will be the best solution for you. What do you think? Do you want to take them in your suitcase? You want to ship them so they can travel in a bus? You need to search for the solution with your own child if you can find the right solution that will work for the family as well. But a lot of families are asking me, should we sell our own furnitures? Are we gonna sell it or are we gonna and buy new stuff? And I say, maybe you can ask your kids if it fits your budget. Maybe you can sit with them, if they're 7, 8, 9, and said, what do you think? Do you think we can find you like a new bed in our new apartment, house, whatever? Or maybe he's very attached. Maybe for your child, this is something very, very important. So when you share and he comes to you and you say, okay, but I need to take my bed with you. So you need to take a moment and you can say, if you don't have the right answer, you can say, thank you for sharing. It's very important for me to know this. Let me think about it. I want to see what solution I can come with.
You're absolutely right. I love it.
It comes a lot with communication and just making sure, and communication is not a one-way street. It's true when you're sharing your move abroad to your parents, even as an adult, to your friends, to your partner. It's really about communication, but it's definitely true. It's a two-way street, even with your kids. So if your kids come to you with a concern or an excitement, it goes both ways. Listen, be aware of the fact that, as you said as well, they think about other things that you probably don't. So give the time to be aware of what is their thoughts right now and their feelings about the move.
Or ask questions. Sometimes kids are not sharing at the first time. So maybe the first step will be share with your kids, sit together, find the right moment, maybe at your house, maybe outside at the restaurant, but in a quiet place, that the time that fits for everyone. It's not, okay, kids, come on, we need to talk to you. No, if they're watching the TV show, the Peppa Pig, which they really like, it's not the best time for them. Maybe it's the best time for you. So everything needs to be organized in a way that you have like the right moment to sit together as a family. And I will add another very important sentence: your kids should be the first one to know about it. Because sometimes some parents are calling me and they're saying, well, the kids heard us and now they're starting to ask questions. And of course, we talk about it sometimes in between us, or when to say, okay, this is something that we need to be aware that we cannot. It's not that we cannot do it. We can do it. Sometimes parents takes time. Maybe you need to make the visa. Maybe you're still waiting. Maybe you're not sure. So I would say, like, when you are 80% sure, 90% sure that you're gonna do the move, this is the right moment to come to your kids and to say to them. Because what happens when you don't tell them and they hear you? Here comes the concerns. So there's a secret going on in our house, and someone is not sharing with us. Maybe we're not old enough. Maybe we're not strong enough. Why they don't share it with me? Or you share it with your parents, and then Friday night dinner, someone is saying something. So what about your movie? And the kids are, where are we going?
I think you jumped clearly
Yeah,
to
absolutely. We're our next question it was about those common mistakes that parents do before they move abroad and while trying to prepare their kids. And sometimes parents think that maybe it's best that we don't tell the kids now until everything is sorted out. But it's clearly a mistake hearing you, because then it brings up more concerns and more fears to the child, and it does exactly the opposite of preparing the kid for this move abroad. So from your experience working with parents, do you see other common mistakes that parents might do while preparing for a relocation?
I think parents will be more busy about concerns than working on relationships. And what we are taking with us is our relationships with our kids. And this is the most important thing that we have. And changes in life, we will always have some changes. There's a new brother, sister coming to the family, maybe something sad happened, I don't know. And the best way to be prepared, if I can think about, if maybe it's not the right thing to say best way, but is the good relationships that we have. Are we open enough to share things in our house? Are we working together as a family? Are we doing stuff together? The same routine that we have as a family before we moved. This is something that we're taking with us. And the mistake will be that parents will be busy about, okay, the apartment or house, British school, American school, Jewish school, having Israeli kids in the class or not, which I understand, and I was in the same position. But what I've learned from my own experience and my knowledge and my experience working with families is what helped them having like a smooth move was working about the relationships and not always being concerned. And like when you're so busy with these things, you're not available to hear your kids because you're in a kind of a loop. You're running about all this list of the things that you can do, but by the end, the list will come to an end. But maybe your relationships with your kids got a little bit.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's so true. And ironically, a lot of the time we move abroad to make a better life for our kids and end up doing the exact opposite because we're not available for them, to hearing them, to speak to them, to listen to their opinions. And that's the exact opposite of what we wanted to do. Like, the intention is amazing, but sometimes we forget to like actually put our attention to where it matters the most.
Yeah, and I will add to this notion of, because as adults we have specific concerns that are a little bit more logistics, or we worry for their own like well-being, so we think of, but when we put into their mind our own concerns, like, do you want to, will you be okay with a kid that is like, if you're going to be the only international person in the school, or do you want to be, but these are our concerns. And I think we said it before, I'll say it again. Ask the kid what he thinks, because don't put your own concerns on your kid, because they might not think about this and it might not scare them, and they might see it as an adventure. But if you think it's scary, then they will think, ooh, should I be scared by that? Should I be concerned by this thing as well? So it's finding the right words and what we're asking and how we are asking them.
Also, I would like to add sharing, because sometimes some parents are very worried about sharing their own feelings. And this is exactly what you're saying. So first thing, don't put your own concerns on your kids, because they might don't even think about it. And second, when your child is coming to you and thinking and saying something like, I don't know if I'm gonna have friends there, I don't even know the language, what am I gonna do? So you can say, wow, I was thinking the same. I also don't have new friends. I also have to make new friends in Barcelona, and I don't even know the language. I didn't know Spanish before we moved. I didn't even knew that Catalan will be the main language in the street, which is not even Spanish because we are here in Catalonia, and like public schools are in Catalan. So sometimes the most important thing is to give your child not only to express himself, also sharing something about you. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my Spanish. You know what? I'm gonna watch some TV series to learn a bit of Spanish. What do you think? You wanna watch it with me? Let's try it together. So here, starting to do something together with your child. Maybe you can buy a book. Maybe you can have a private class. Maybe you can do, but don't try to avoid sharing your own thoughts with your child when he comes to you with his own thoughts. But try to make it related to his age and his situation. So if you're a bit worried more than needs to be, don't put it on your child. Help them to understand that he's not the only one having this kind of thought or something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I heard a lot of time parents say that they don't want to share their own fears and thoughts, concerns, because it might give the child a feeling of uncertainty. If my mom doesn't know, then how should I know? But actually, I understand this concern, but actually, from hearing you as well and from my own experience, when I share my own concerns, like you said, child related, age related, not I'm not going to share my financial concern with the 8 years old. When you do share it, actually say, oh, my mom is human just like me, and we're in this together. And you mentioned a lot of time during this conversation, as a whole family we're in this together. And we, as a family, we moved as kids with our parents. This notion of we're in this together really really helps with all the transitions and make things easier, because you know that you're not alone dealing with this. Even your parents, the superheroes, they're dealing with exactly the same things, and
Yeah.
that means it's okay that I'm feeling scared, that that I have doubts right now. That's totally fine, and I'll make it work.
So this is also related to mistakes. The mistakes that parents are doing, thinking I will not share my own feelings with my child because maybe I will make him more worried, but then you're doing the opposite, making them think that you're the adult, you know everything, you will deal, everything will be fine. I'm the only one maybe having these concerns, so maybe I'll better stay with it by myself.
Yeah, I think it's important to make it. We started with it, and we'll say it enough times here, so our listeners are making sure that we get it. It's about making it as a family. If you're moving like with kids, with a partner, do it together. Make this bond stronger. I know that so many families, if you approach it the right way, the relocation itself will make the family stronger, because it's something you all will have to deal with together. And if you do it together, then you become stronger. If every part of the family is trying to deal with it separately, it's gonna be harder for you. That's the whole thing. It's gonna be harder before the move, but it's definitely gonna be harder later. So you need to take it as an opportunity to strengthen this bond of the family, of doing it. It's an adventure, it's a project you do together.
Exactly. This is why I mention it, that the relationships, this is the most important things that we're taking with us. Because if I cannot share with my husband my fears, my thoughts, my emotions, and he cannot share with me, and my kids the same, it's not gonna work because we need to be there one for each other because we are moving our family. We are gonna be the grandparents for them. We're gonna be. I remember the first birthday party. I went and I bought some presents for my girls. I hope they're not listening to me. And and I, like I put the wrapping paper and everything, making it looks like it came from Israel. And they put like the cards and everything in Hebrew, like they bought it for them, and and we got it because I realized that they don't have the family here. So it's very, very important to work about your relationships and to do things as a family. So the kids will feel okay, but we have this strong family, and everything else we can solve together.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I think it, as I said before, I think moving abroad with kids is giving them such an amazing opportunity. And it's such a beautiful thing if you do it the right way. So I'm all for it. Absolutely. So you've given a lot of tips and advices here for our listeners, and I love that. And if you have maybe one more advice that you could give to parents who are right now preparing their move abroad and how to, we talked a lot about communication. Maybe you have another advice on how to approach this with the kids, how to prepare them, how to help them process this adventure together.
So I will say sharing information, again, appropriate age, child, like you're moving to Barcelona. Okay, show them a little bit of the city. So today we have Google Maps, we have videos, photos, whatever. So open with them. Okay, let's take the computer. Let's look how it looks like Sagrada Familia, which is one of the most famous places here. Let's look what do you like? You like ice cream. Let's find the ice cream shop we're gonna visit there. Okay, so giving them the opportunity to be partners for the inform. It's not you are holding all the information and now you're giving it to your kids. Like, let's do it together. What is your favorite food? Italian food? Okay, let's find the best Italian restaurant in Barcelona. So they feel like, okay, I want to be there. I'm a partner. I have it's the same like in your life. You want your kids to help you and to feel that they have like a role in your house, or you're the one doing everything. And it's the same. So if you're the one doing everything, so maybe they will come and maybe not. But if they feel like they're partners and they're important and they are giving us information because they can do search in Google today. I better than me for sure. So they feel okay, I found this place, I want to be there. So first is sharing information, but giving them some jobs, some roles. Okay, so you're going to be responsible for finding attractions. And where are we going to go? What do you think? Okay, first thing. Second thing will be modeling. If you want to make friends for your kids, first you need to make friends for yourself. Kids learn from what they see, not from what we say. If you're gonna do Rosh Hashanah and invite some families to your house, your kids will see, my parents are having friends. That's nice. I want to have friends as well. This is modeling. The next step, I will say, I'm not a lawyer, for example, and I will never have the information as a lawyer or a doctor or a nurse or something else. When I need their advice, I will have an appointment and I will ask them what I need to do. I will not do Google for this if it's something that it's very important to my life. And I will say the same for parents. Sometimes parents are coming to me after they share with the kids or they moved already and now here comes the problems, which can happen even if you go to do some meetings with a counselor, advisor, parenting therapist, it can happen because that's life. Okay, but what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to avoid mistakes as a parent in my life, and also related to relocation. So I will say, if you're not sure about how to talk to your kids, if you're not sure about yourself, go to have a meeting and make this process for yourself so you can do it with your kids. Because if you're not sure about yourself, if you want to do it, sometimes when when you open the Zoom meeting and they meet the couple for the first time, and I ask each one of them, do you want to move there? And if they don't say yes, I'm starting to think, okay, so we need to see what are we going to do now. Because if you feel that you're putting your life on hold, this is what goes with you. So first thing will be just to make sure that you're on the same page.
Yes, I totally relate to that. And this is the whole idea why we created our business, but we do this podcast is to normalize this conversation. Is to be like, you need first to be prepared yourself before you move abroad. You need to feel confident, you need to feel good, you need to feel excited, you need to be aware of the challenges, but also feel ready for it. And then you will be able to, I love your last tip is to ask for help with regard to your kids. You've never done it before. If you need help with that, the same way as you will go to a lawyer, or will you go to a doctor, or you will go to any expert in any field, go and ask for help to make sure you minimize the mistakes. I don't think we can do a mistake-free move. We all make mistakes. I think that's how we learn and that's how we grow. And those are very, very important. But we can minimize them by asking help from the right people.
Yeah, absolutely. And today, this is so easy, with the internet. Google is not an expert, but it can help you find the right expert for you. Someone who's done it before, who knows what they're talking about, who has kids, just like you. You've had your own experience with moving abroad, and the knowledge, the professional knowledge. You can clearly help parents talk to their kids, preparing them better then Google can help, or any other Facebook group, or all this kind of thing. A lot of people right today are afraid to ask for help because if I ask for help, it means I don't know. Well, that's right. You don't know. This is why you need help, and that's okay. We have this ego that says we can't help for help, but it's actually okay. And this is another thing we're trying to normalize here. Ask for help. There are so many professionals, around the globe today, and that are dealing with this specific topic of moving abroad. Just ask for help, and it will make your move abroad much smoother, and you'll feel much better with it. I love this advice.
And just to add that it's the same like when you sit in the airplane and what they tell you. First put the oxygen mask on your face and then on your child. If you're not taking care of yourself, you won't be able to help your child.
Of course, that's so right. And it goes straight to like our next question. We know your services are in Hebrew mainly, but can you tell us a little bit more about what you're doing, what you're offering, and how can people get in touch with you?
Okay, so I'm doing two type of main thing. So since I was a special education teacher in Israel for 16 years, and I work with kids with learning disabilities and behavioral problems. And then I did my master degree in art therapy, and then ABA, which is applied behavior analysis. And finally, I also did my diploma for parenting solutions. I'm working with families living abroad, having relocation, and I'm also working with families that have kids with learning disabilities or diagnosed with ADHD or not diagnosed yet, but still having some hard times at home and at school. Um, and talking about dreams, which what I started with. So I was working in Israel for many years with the students and the teachers, and they really miss their parents. I felt there's a missing link, like you cannot have um, the complete work or therapy or solution or something that you need to do. It always comes with all the three, the child, the teacher, and the parents. This is regarding school. And since I was working in Israel, at the education field, I didn't have time to have my own clinic. And then, being a mom for twins and then Emily, so I was quite busy. And after we moved, and this is also something that a lot of women are asking me, um, I had a lot of time and I couldn't work here as a teacher because my certificate was not valid for here because of the language, because of many things. And then it came to the moment that I was sitting with myself saying, okay, what am I going to do? And I said, okay, with all the knowledge that I have and the experience, this is what I want to do. Now it's my time to do my dream and to open my own clinic. And I've decided to do it online, so I will have the opportunity to work with families living in very. So I wake up in the morning and I have a meeting with Thailand, and then I move to Canada, and then I ended up in Europe. So I'm switching the time zone during the day, which is also very very nice. Like having a lot of experience with very different families. And I also work with teenagers that moved and they're having hard time to adapt to school, which I said before. Teenager is quite a different story, but this is something that I also do. But having said that, if I work with teenagers, I always work as well with their parents.
Well, that's amazing and definitely needed in this world. More and more people are moving around, with their kids, and sometimes they need help, and that's totally fine. We moved as kids, as teenagers, as adults. It's always different, and you don't always know how to, manage this thing. And so I think that every parent that is moving with kids should, listen at least to other specialists that have done it before, people with experience, and remember that the kids sometimes they need help, and that's okay to ask for a professional help.
And it doesn't have to be a long term. I have to say, sometimes I have families coming for one meeting, maybe two meetings. They just want to make sure that they're going to say it in the right way, the right time, that the decision they took, they want someone from outside to listen to them. A lot of times I have to say that I'm sorry I'm repeating this, but when I say, why don't you share your feelings? They say, yeah, I can share my feeling with my kid and say, yeah. And they say, wow, Shiri, thank you. Such a relief. And I was like, they've been very stressed about themselves and the kids coming to them. And what did you say? No, I didn't say anything. So why didn't you say anything? I didn't know what to say, which is quite normal. When I gave birth to twins, I didn't know what to do with twins. So I went to have some sessions with a specialist that will give me some tips, some guidelines. There are two girls the same time. We're gonna share the same clothes. What I'm gonna do with like, and I got a lot of knowledge, so it really helped me. So it doesn't have to, and some families will take longer, but it will be between one session to 10 sessions before moving. And then sometimes I do like a small follow-up with the families after the move, just making sure that everything is okay, the kids adapt, concerns are gone. Now you have time, now you can start thinking about yourself, what are you going to do. So it really depends. It doesn't have to be a long term. And again, if you have some issues at home after moving or before, the kids will say, okay, you can move. I'm going to stay here with grandma. She offered me a room.
No, I love it, and that's a good. Like, we're living in an area that, as you said, like, you can find a lot of information online, but it's normal to ask for help. It's more and more okay to say, hey, I don't know how to do this. Please, can someone else tell me what should I? Then you decide for yourself, right? You don't, it's not like a one way thing to do. You ask, you try, you figure it out. But it doesn't make you weak or incapable or like a weird person that you don't know how to do it by yourself. It just makes you human. And congratulations on being human if you relate to anything we talked on this episode today, because it's okay. And moving abroad is coming with a lot of challenges, but it comes with a lot of amazing things. So if you can have someone on your side that helps you make it easier and smoother, then that's an entire benefit for yourself, for your partner, and definitely for your kids.
Amazing. So we're getting to the end of our episode here, and we have our final question that we ask all our guests on this podcast, and is, what is a smooth and positive move abroad means to you?
I think being well prepared, mention all the things that I said before, and I think it's very clear, like starting with yourself, asking yourself the question, do I want to be there? Is it good for me? What am I going to do there? Not only being worried about kids. They will be fine, I promise you. Maybe it will take some time. There is no calendar for when everything is going to be okay, but it's going to be okay if you're going to be okay for yourself. You're going to take care of yourself first before you go and take care of others. And so I think like being very well prepared as a person, as a partner, as a family, working on relationships, um, doing things together, not doing for the kids, doing with the kids. Um, Talk with some other families from the place you're moving. In our school, like I get some emails, hi Shiri, maybe you can speak with a mom coming to same age as your child. So, like getting more information that will help you with your concerns and will give you some answers with someone that is already there. Maybe same for your kids. Maybe he would like to talk with someone. Maybe he would like to know how school looks like. So if you're having the opportunity to go there before you're moving by yourself or with the family, so take some videos of the street, how it looks like. Um, don't come the same day kids are going to school. Try to come just, I think I forgot to say it before. Try to move like maybe I would say if it's possible, okay, 2 weeks before at least, so kids will have some time to adjust for the even the smell is different in Barcelona, like when you get out from the airport, it's quite different from Tel Aviv and Barcelona. The streets looks different, the food tastes different. So give the kids some time and for yourself to know the route. If they're taking the bus, maybe you take them the first day so they will know someone from the bus and meet the monitor. Um, Here we have the day before, how they call it. So they open the gates the day before so kids can come and they can meet some classmates that are coming, and then to do the tour because it's very different from what we use. Even if you live in France and you in Paris and you move to, I don't know, Hong Kong, it look different. And some schools, like mostly international schools, are huge. So kids will feel a little bit small, maybe a little some fears. I don't know where I'm gonna go there. And we didn't mention another thing. It's about language. So if your kid is very worried about language, maybe you can teach him some important words that he can use about his needs. How do you say I need to go to the toilet in the school, the same language the school is using? Maybe if he's very small, you can make some photo album so he can point the photo. I need my bottle. I need my I lost the word. I'm hungry, whatever. So for small kids, I will say like photo album. For older kids, I will say just teach him some. Maybe put a note with your number. So in case he needs to call you, so he can go to the secretary and he said, please call my mom. Um, so to summarize everything, I will say, be prepared, work with your partner, share with your kids, work on relationships, and ask for help if you feel like that you're having some hard time to do it by yourself.
I love this episode so much, Shiri. I want to thank you so much for all the knowledge that you share with us and those amazing tips. And I know that everyone that's going to listen to this episode that has kids and is moving abroad with kids can only benefit for what you just shared here, because those are so important. And this is why we do our show, to put it out there, to put this information out there, because people don't always know where to get this information before they move, who to get in touch with, and how to, how to tackle this move abroad with kids. It sounds so big. So I want to thank you again for sharing everything, honestly and openly. And I think it has a lot of value here.
Thank you for having me, and I really think it's very, very important to give this information to families, and I hope people will feel free to reach me out through email or my website. And thank you.
Thank you, Shiri, for being here with us today, and thank you for joining us on the Coffee Talkie Show, the podcast for women living abroad. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and gained valuable insights, tips, and inspiration for your journey as an expat.
If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future episodes, please feel free to reach out to us via our website or social media. And if you love what you heard today, please like, follow, and leave us a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform. Until next time, sending you positive vibes your way.